Hey everybody, welcome to today's walkthrough video. What we're going to do is take a look at another grid mini, and this particular one that we're looking at has a different floor plan. This is the GM2, and before we jump into the actual grid itself and the grid mini, what we want to do is just let you guys know we get a lot of questions regarding this, but in the description we've got a number of links that answer a lot of those questions. And that'll go directly to this particular client build. There's also another link that goes to our whole grid program. And then below that, we have a third link that goes to our build and price. So a lot of questions get asked about what this costs. But we tailor a lot of our builds to each individual. So you can go through our build and price and build your own grid and then get a price in real time so you have an idea of what that would look like. So feel free to use the tools that are there, and that'll be able to answer a lot of the questions that you guys do have that we can't always answer in a video just because some things are customized. So let's go ahead and jump into the full build and have a look at it all. So one of the questions we get asked is what kind of platform do we build these on? So when a client wants to build a grid with us, whether that's a full-size grid or a grid mini, what we do is we work with an F550 cabin chassis, and that's what we start from the ground up to build your camper and build your grid. So that's what you're going to find in all of our grids is the F550. And we do that so we can be consistent in our builds and know the quality that we're delivering. And then you have the ability to choose what kind of F550 you want and the options you get inside of your cab. But then we have the consistency for everything else. Now, one of the things we want to talk about is a little bit on the front end. So on this particular build right here, you're going to see that we've more or less just got kind of a basic front end. That is a choice by the client. But in our previous walkthrough, you'll have been able to see where we have the bodyguard off-road bumper. You also have the ability to throw a winch in there as well, along with off-road lighting, air compressor setup so that you got a quick connect and disconnect to air up and air down. So we still tailor these to exactly what the client wants and what their needs are, and you can find more information about that on our website and different samples of different builds we've done throughout the past to see what might work for you and what's most applicable for your needs. But now what we want to do is jump into the actual conversion itself, going from a dually to running super single. So let's have a look at some of that. So now as you bring your F550 platform to us here at Wilderness Vans, what we're going to do is we're going to give you the option to either run it as a dually system. You do not have to change it over to a single wheel and jump into 40-inch tires. However, that is an available option, and we see a lot of people do that because they want the expedition vehicle and they want to be able to take it places. Now, as we talk about the F550 platform, you do have the ability to get that as a regular cab, extended cab, or you can even go a crew cab. But the thing to keep in mind is depending on where you're going to go and what you're going to do, with each of those changes, you do extend your length just a little bit. So in our previous video, you'll see that it was on a regular cab, which kept the wheelbase nice and short, and your approach and departure angle is really nice. But if you need to change things up a little bit and have a little bit more room, or you like having a back seat, you can do that. Now, you do not have to jump into the single wheel conversion, but if you do, some of the pros that you're going to gain from that is you're going to improve your ride quality, your turning radius. You're also going to have the ability to have your vehicle track a little differently when you get off-road and you get onto the trails. You'll find that you'll be able to stay in the ruts and different things, just like the regular pickups do, where a dually you're going to find you kind of sway one way or another. Now, when you do a single wheel conversion, you are going to notice that we've got the beadlock rims. Now, the beadlock wheels have the ability for you to air down your tires. The reason that's important for those that haven't aired down tires before, when you do get stuck, when you air down your tire, you extend your footprint, which gives you more traction to get yourself unstuck. So whether that's in sand, snow, mud, whatever it might be, you have the ability to do that. Now, the other benefit of a beadlock wheel is that you're not going to roll that tire off of the wheel when you do air down and you lower your PSI. The other thing too is that you can change the ride quality of how the camper feels on, let's say, washboard roads simply by airing down the PSI, maybe 10 or 20 PSI, so that you're a little softer and then your ride's a little smoother. What that also does is it takes a little bit more it takes wear and tear out of a lot of components if you're not running these at full PSI. Now, the single wheel conversion that we have here, you are going to get the Continental 40-inch tire. You're also going to see on this particular client build that we have the Fox suspension, and this is running the 2.0s with the extra reservoir there as well. You're also going to have on the front, you're going to get steering stabilizer, and you're going to have that with Fox as well. So it just improves the ride quality and the comfort of being able to drive your vehicle. So one of the things that you are going to find with the F550 platform and the single wheel conversion, even though this looks really big and kind of large, when you're up in the cab and you are driving it, you're actually going to feel that it drives just like it's a regular pickup truck. And you'll be able to enjoy that as such. It won't feel as big when you are in the cab. It'll just feel like a regular F-150. So very handy and nice and comfortable to drive. Now let's jump into the camper itself and talk about a few of the features that you're going to find accessible from the exterior. So here we are with our grid camper. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the features that we have here. We're going to start off with the door. Now as your door opens up, you're going to see that the steps come out automatically. You also have the ability to lock your door in place here so it stays in place and it doesn't get blown around with the wind. Now the steps themselves, you've got a few different options even just with the steps here. We've got this so every time the door opens and closes they go in and out. You also have the ability right here, there's a switch to lock this in place. So if you're frequently getting in and out of the camper, you don't have the steps going in and out all the time. But you also have a safety mechanism built in that if you do flip that switch and then you accidentally drive away, that you're not driving away with your steps out. So when you start your ignition, your steps will automatically always go in so that you don't accidentally rip these off. Now on the inside here, you're going to find we've got a few different storage compartments. This is great for the easy access to things like the remote for your Dometic awning. Now the Dometic awning that we have on the grids is automatic. It comes out, it's freestanding, and the nice thing is all you've got to do is push a button to extend that. So we'll just tuck this back away here. Now what you're going to notice right here is you do have a handle. It lifts and then slides out and then locks in place. So great for getting in and out if you choose to use the handle. Just there for extra use for those that like those. Now one of the things you're going to see here is the underbelly storage. So this compartment here is great for storing tools, recovery gear, whatever you might need. We've got two more of these on the opposite side. But the cool thing is we've got larger ones when you opt to get a full-size grid versus the Grid Mini. Now, one of the other things we want to talk about when it comes to storage, on our other floor plans, you've always probably seen that we've got a dedicated bike locker that's right here with the pull-out drawer for accessing the bike or additional gear. In this particular GM2 floor plan, we've changed things up a little bit and we've removed that. And the reason we've done that is we've made more space to maximize your living space on the inside, but we didn't want to compromise by not giving you an accessible outdoor compartment to still store things. So you do have a drop down right here to store more items that are accessible from the outside. And the cool thing about this is this also works great for cooking on, if you want to be able to cook under the awning or just cook outside. Now, one of the things that's also special about this compartment here is that it's accessible from the inside. So from the inside, you have the ability to open it up right here and still access whatever gear you might have here or food or whatever you choose to store in here. It's accessible from the outside and the inside. The other thing to make note is that when you open your door, you do have the light that automatically comes on. So if you're trying to access things at night, you've got the ability to still see everything. Now what we want to do is talk about the rear and some of the storage that's over there. Now as we come around, one of the things you're going to notice is that we've got a nice large expedition box right here for storing items. You've got two trays that are removable if you need to. If you remove them, you've got a nice big compartment to store things like a sup board in here. These are also adjustable shelves, so you can adjust them going up and down this way. Now inside the compartment itself, you're going to find that you've got USB-C and USB outlets right here, and then you also have a 12-volt cigarette plug so that you got the ability to charge your devices that are in the back. And then down below right in here, we've actually got a dedicated 120 unit. Now the unique thing about this 120 unit is that it's actually not connected to your camper battery system. It's connected to the truck platform battery system. So you can be running your truck and running tools all day long off the back, and you don't have to worry about draining your system in your camper if you want to keep that AC going while your partner or other individuals or your pets are inside staying nice and cool. You don't have to worry about draining that. Now, the other thing that we want to make notes is when you open this door, you do have an automatic light that comes on so that you can still see everything at night, similar to our other compartment that we had on that side right over there. Now, one of the things you guys are going to notice is we've got some L-track installed here and along there and then also at the top. So you've got a wide variety of different ways to still attach different items off of the rear. What I do want to make note is that American Adventure Lab has also designed a mole system for the grid platform to be able to attach a wide variety of different objects or bikes, whatever you might need. So you can do propane, you can do rotopacks. They've got a slick system. So if you are looking into a grid and you do want a little bit more options for attaching things to the outside of the grid, they do have that as a resource if you want to be able to design something with them or use something they have already designed. Right here we do have a full-size spare. Now the cool thing about the full-size spare is it's actually on a swing out here. You've got a lock down here and a lock up here. And then it pulls out just like this. Now right here you're going to notice that we do have a winch system be able to lower your spare tire. This is a 200-pound tire. So to take that off by yourself would be quite the ordeal. So you can just crank this down and lower it and then swap out your tire and then put the new one in and crank it back up. Now on this side right here, you're also going to see that we've got a ladder that takes you to the roof. The ladder allows you to get up and be able to go clean your solar. Or on the roof, you're also going to notice that we've got L-track going the entire way and length of that camper shell. So you can still attach additional items up there that you don't get to very regularly or just need that storage space to keep things out of the way. So great if you want to throw some Pelican cases up there or some longer items or design some custom crossbars for a canoe or a kayak. You have the ability to do that with the grid as well. Now on the driver's side here of the GM2, you're still going to find that you get a dedicated ski locker. This is great for holding the tall items, so skis, snowboards. In the summertime, it's also great for paddles or fishing rods. So a nice big locker going this way. And the other thing we want to be able to mention is that it is heated, so it does have the ability to dry gear out. And back in here, you also have access to an exterior shower. So the shower that we've got here is a Sobo shower. And the way this works is it's got a nice quick disconnect and connect. And your handle here where you connect actually operates your thermostat and your on-off. So you do have the ability to set the temperature for what you want. And then you've got a nice little hose here for either hosing off your feet or your bike or whatever you might have that's out here that needs a quick rinse. Maybe the kids or the dog. But super slick system, and it's nice to have that out the back, so you have that as an extra option. Now one of the things you're going to notice that below me is where we've also got the underbelly storage on the driver's side. So you have one here, and you have one over there as well. Right here you do have your 30 amp shore power. And the shore power allows you to top things up, so whether you're at home and you want to be able to charge things up before you take off on a trip, or if you're a dedicated campground, you have the ability to just be running power directly from there. So nice to have that as one of your power sources. Now as we come around right here, you're also going to notice that we do have a nice little inlet right here for filling your freshwater system. This has a 68-liter tank on this particular build. There are different options available for being able to extend that based on your needs. You're also going to notice right here is that we've got two spots for your fuel. Now depending on which platform you go with, whether that's a diesel or a gas, the diesel has the ability to have two tanks while the gas only has the ability to have one tank. So if you do go a diesel version as the platform for your F550, you do have the ability to really get long range system out of your camper and a lot fewer fill-ups as a result of that. So just something to note depending on what platform you want to choose and for what purpose. But if you go the diesel, you have the ability to utilize two separate tanks and fill up differently. Now that sums up our driver's side. Now that's the outside of the grid. Now let's go ahead and jump in to the GM2 floor plan. So here we are in the GM2 floor plan, and we're in the most comfortable area that there is, the dinette and kind of the lounge space, and we were able to maximize this space in this particular floor plan when we did away with the bike cabinet that usually goes this way. So you get a lot more space this way for being able to lounge. And one of the things I personally love about this build that comes with this style of dinette is you really have the ability to just kind of curl up and relax in here like you would on a couch. You can read a book, you can have dinner, you can do a wide variety of things. Now what you're going to see on both sides here is you're going to see that we've got broad arrow windows. These are all awning style windows. They all have blackout blinds. They have bug screens, and then you've got a dual paned acrylic window, and you can adjust this to wherever you need to. So super slick system. You can open both of these for cross breeze. You can open the other ones for cross breeze, or you can just have one for just getting a little bit of fresh air if you don't want a full breeze coming through the build. Now, one of the cool things is that right here at the dinette, you do have the ability to eat here, but it's also great for like a working space. Now up top, you do have the ability to have your Starlink if that's something you're going to be working on. And the cool thing about being here in this table space is right here, we've got USB, USB-C. We also have a 12-volt cigarette plug and 120. You also have your dimmer switch right here for being able to shut this light on and off. So for creating a workspace and being able to plug all the laptops and different items in, it's great for doing that as well. Now, for getting in and out, the cool thing is that this tabletop does come off. You've got the ability to twist this to get in and out, but when it comes off, like so, you can use this just as a lounge space. So right here, you do have the ability to also convert your dinette into a sleeping space. So you remove the table, and then you have the ability to pull out your bed and create it into a spare bed for children. An adult can curl up in there, but you can also use it as a dog bed if you want, depending on what your needs are. Now below this bed, we also have the ability to access the outside cabinet that we showed you previously, and that's where you can lift this up to be able to get in and access what you need here. Now above us right here, we've got our upper cabinets, and as we open these up, you're going to notice that we've got an automatic light that comes on, so you have the ability to see everything, whether that's at night or there's just items in the back that you need access to be able to find. You're also going to see we've got a nice deep cubby here where we maximized a little extra space for you as well. Now we've got cabinets that go all throughout. Now right behind me here is where you've got the ability to monitor your system and be able to turn things on and off with your electrical. So with this panel right here, you have the ability to turn things on or off, like your water pump, your awning. So if you're not using those, you can just leave those off so that you don't have any kind of draw coming from those. And then to the right here is where you've got your monitoring system for your Victron. Now your Victron system allows you to be able to see what you're utilizing in terms of your energy. So what you're consuming, what your power usage is, how much you're bringing in based off of your solar or your alternator, that can all be done here. Now the Victron system that we have installed in this particular floor plan is tied into 540 amp hours of lithium battery for this particular client, and then they've also got 400 watts of solar up top. You do have the ability to change that based on what your needs are. You can go higher if you feel like you're going to be off grid longer and you need to be able to utilize that. Now, we've also got a couple different ways to be able to charge your battery bank system. You've got your solar up top. You've also got your shore power, which we showed you guys on the outside, and then you're also tied into your alternator. So while you are driving your vehicle, you do have the ability to charge your battery system while you are doing that. So that just gives you guys a little glimpse on how to keep things topped up in your grid so it can be utilized off-road or just topping up from your house before you take off on a trip. Now to the right, you're going to notice that we've got a nice closet space here for you. This has got adjustable shelving, or you can completely remove that if you need to. Below that, we've got two drawers. And below our drawers, we've got access to your full electrical system if you ever need to change or alter anything in there. Right below me on the seat here, you do have access to your lithium battery system, so you can access things from below that seat right there. Now right in front of me you're going to find is your Vitro Frigo Slim 150 fridge and freezer. So you've got full fridge right here, you've got your freezer here as well. Comes with a nice little ice cube tray, great for storing your meat and ice cream. You've got adjustable shelves throughout, and then right below that you've got a drawer that actually pulls out. And this drawer is actually really great for holding your produce, to be able to keep things nice and crisp and kind of keep it separate from the other items that might be set to a colder temperature. Now let's have a peek at our galley. Now in the Grid Mini, you're going to find that we've condensed things a little bit. So in a full-size grid, typically we'll go 2-burner induction, but to save space and still allow you to be able to utilize some of that space for prepping your food, we've done a single burner induction right here. We've also got the Ravati sink with a cutting board on top, and then you've got a strainer, and it's a nice deep sink, so you can actually wash your dishes in it, where some sinks just have a harder time doing that. So we've opted to go the Ravati. Now, the nice thing is you've got a beautiful bamboo countertop here, and at the end here, you also have a different pull-out so that you've got the ability to still have more prep space for preparing your food, and you can kind of work in a nice little L shape this way. Then when you're done, you can simply just wipe her off and slide it back. Now throughout the galley, you're also going to notice that we've got a wide variety of different drawers to be able to store food and your cooking items. Now below some of the drawers, you've got access to your toilet right here. This is on a nice drawer slide, a locking slide with heavy duty drawer slides. So you have the ability to utilize your toilet right here. Now this is to make do with having small space. In a full-size grid, you actually have a full dedicated shower and bathroom space for a little bit more privacy. But in compromising some things, you've got to be able to adjust things. So that's how we still incorporate a toilet, and later we'll get to the shower that's in here as well. Now below the sink, you have access to your gray water system. Right below your right in this cabinet is where your one gray water system is. This is where you've got a 20-liter Comet jug directly tied to your sink, so you have the ability to unscrew this and go dump your gray water and then screw it back on to be able to continue to utilize your build here. Now right above that door, you're going to notice you've got your on-off switches for your pumps. You also have the ability to have underground lighting or just lower lighting for your floor space. So if you want to leave that on at night instead of the upper ones, it's a great way to have low settings as well. Now, just at the very end here, we do have 120, so you've got the ability to tie additional things in for cooking. And then we also have a pull-out pantry right here that also has adjustable shelving. Now above me, we do have a microwave right here. So nice to be able to just quick reheat items as need be. And then we've got a nice big upper cabinet here with plenty of storage. And again, you've got the automatic light that comes on and off as you open and close that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the bed. Now to get into bed, you have a nice fold-away ladder that tucks away nicely. And up in bed here, you're going to see that we've got plenty of space for being able to get in and get out. For reference, you guys, I'm 5'10", and this is me lying down in bed. So for those of you that are over 6 feet, you've got plenty of space and you don't have to curl up. That's the beauty of having a truck-based camper, as opposed to some of the vans that end up with a little smaller sleeping quarters, depending on floor plans you go that direction. Right above me, you're going to notice that we've got a nice max air fan right here. This is the 7500. Has 10 different speeds, and you have the ability to suck air in and out depending on what you want for moving air within your vehicle. You're also going to notice you've got windows on both sides, so you can get a cross breeze going across you at night if you prefer to use the windows. Now right above where you're at sleeping, you do have adjustable reading lights and night lights. Those you have the ability to turn on and off just like that. Those are on both sides for both individuals. And then in this particular cubby right here, we also have access to 12 volt cigarette plug and then USB and USB-C. So this is a nice little cubby to store your iPhone or whatever you need to for charging at night. And then you also have access to these two dimmer switches right here, where you can turn off your main lights and do that from bed. So now below me is where you have access to your pass-through. Now the pass-through allows you to get in and out of your cab nice and quickly if you need to in an emergency, or if it's raining and you don't want to go through the main door. So it's a nice system. It does have a cover that rolls up and rolls down, so you have the ability to keep that closed off and also keep light from coming into your camper if you're going to close this off and have it all blacked out for a nice little snooze in the middle of the afternoon. Now, as we wrap up the GM2 floor plan, we want to make note of a few other things that we have in your particular build. You do have an AC unit to be able to keep your vehicle nice and cool. You also have a Webasto EV40 diesel heater, so you can adjust the thermostats both on these to dial in your temperature perfect. Now, on the right-hand side here, you're going to find you do gain a little bit more closet space. You've got a dedicated mirror in here as well, so you have the ability to just check, make sure you're looking good before you go out for dinner or something at a nice restaurant as you're done with your camping. And then below that, we've also integrated an indoor shower. This is where we have the Tetravan shower. You've got the ability to have an enclosed shower here, taking up little space. Now you've got the pull-out hose here to be able to shower while you're in here, rinse everything off. You also have your thermostat right here for your water to be able to adjust the temperature there. Everything folds away, your curtain stays in here nicely, and you have the ability just to lock this up and keep it out of the way. Now that wraps up our GM2 floor plan. Thanks again for watching another one of our walkthrough videos. We hope you enjoyed the tour of the GM2 floor plan. Again, if you'd like more information or more details, check out the links because we've got a lot on our site. If you'd like to learn more about building a grid with us, be sure to click on the build and price as well. Thanks again. We'll see you guys next time.